Hey everyone, it's Wowous. We're here with the Heroes of the Storm video, and today we're playing as Muradin, and we're going to do a tutorial build guide, talk a little bit about the way that I play Muradin. So I typically play Muradin as a tank, there's two ways you can play him essentially. One, he's a little bit less tanky, but in this setup, in this sort of team build, with Kira being very heavily played right now, and this is August 2019. I tend to play him more as a tank, and especially if you're playing against her. To start off, I always go with Perfect Storm. Perfect Storm really makes his hammer stronger over time. Each time you hit an enemy hero, you gain some damage to it, so 5 damage to it. And you see there a little bit of a miss. It has a very, very short range, and so you're going to miss some of the shots that you take with it. So you need to not worry so much about making every single shot, but when you're up close like this against someone, it's very easy to get that hit and to get the stacks. But the further you are away from them, the harder obviously it is, where it is it is a skill shot there. And it's very slow moving, so it's very easy for enemy heroes to miss. To talk a little bit about it, you saw the Q, the W, he slams around the area around him, slows everybody that's around him, and does a little bit of damage. Not a ton of damage, but enough to do something like this where you kind of just slow them from getting away for a little bit. His E is both an escape and an initiate. It's a jump like this. You can jump wherever you want. Tend to use it both to engage the enemy, so when you're jumping into a battle, it's a good opportunity to get right into where you want to be, and you can combo it here with the Q, right? So you jump in and then you immediately stun them. You can use your W as well to slow them. Now I'm not going to be able to take down Kerrigan by myself, but it kind of gives you an opportunity to push back this lane a little bit, to get Kerrigan to back a little bit. Especially, as she doesn't have necessarily the same ability to restore health as we do. And so with that, his trait is a unique one. You see here, you get back health every time that you don't take damage for 4 seconds. So really what this means is Muradin never really has a problem with his health, unless he's really in the middle of a team fight that he can't get out of. He has much more of an issue with mana, though. You typically are going to be using fountains to get your mana back up. And we haven't used a ton here at the start of the game, but typically, especially as we get into team fights, you'll see he runs out of mana pretty quickly. And then in the meantime, you can kind of just chill in the back line here and heal up until you jump back in. Here at level 4, I always recommend Thunderburn. It's by far the best of these. And he has a pretty standard build overall. There's a few choices later on, but in these early levels, Muradin really doesn't have many choices in terms of what you're going to pick, especially when you look at things like win rate. This Thunderburn, what it does to your W is makes it so that when you hit an enemy hero with it, and we missed there, but it will basically cast a second time after a few seconds. That definitely gives you an advantage, because if someone is chasing after you, it will hit them, and again, it slows them both times it hits them, so that's a huge advantage. And we're going to jump into this here, and you can see here it shows you that it's about to recast. You can also use it if one of your teammates stuns someone. So a good combo there is, maybe you W and then you drop your Q, because you're going to stun them and they're going to hit with the second round of these. So you want to just be conscious of when you're using your W like this, right? So if you can get them twice, that's much better. And we're doing okay here so far. We've got, we're going to get about 2 of the nukes. We're basically the same in terms of XP right now. We're a little bit ahead. We'll hit 7 first. Good nuke placement there. It's going to hit everything. Now here at level 7, what I recommend taking is Give Him the Axe. And what that means is that disabled heroes take additional damage, and you see here your basic attacks when somebody's stunned or rooted, which again, it just combos nicely. There we go. it just combos nicely with your W and your Q. You're going to be stunning, and we just want to knock Nova out of that. So Nova, we saw, was cloaked, and so you can use your W as a nice area of effect to just sort of be able to take her out of her cloak. But she ended up using her her ability there to go back into cloak. A little bit of a team fight here. We miss. As you can see, the other problem with your Q is that it's going to hit enemy minions, and it makes it very difficult to use when you're up against a minion wave. So you got to be really careful about that. And you see there, we can definitely get bursted down with Muradin. It's a little bit of a strategic game. You know, the more you're in the team fight, your heal isn't going to take place. Your second wind isn't going to pop, you know, if you're in the middle of a team fight. So the more you stay in a fight like this, that's when Muradin really is weak. And the way to take down Muradin is to do that, is to just stay on him and don't let him get his heal, his second wind back up. Where we've kind of lost this top, it seems like they're 2-on-4, I believe, up here. It's probably worth abandoning this, but I'm going to try to get on to Hammer to at least get Hammer back. And again, Hammer has a nice concussive blast there to knock us back. And we take a little bit of damage, but all in all, that's not a super useful nuke that he launched. We're going to jump into this, try to hit Kerrigan with our Q, but she's already dead. And you see there just has a slow cast time in terms of this, so you got to get used to that. That's something that it just takes some practice to get used to how his Q gets thrown. There we go. I'm going to back here, just knowing that my health's very low. Oh, boy. Now here, I'm going to take Avatar. And both of these options are actually pretty good. Haymaker can be really good in some team fight situations. But I just find in this particular team build, and you're looking at Twin Blades of Fury variant, and then you're looking at Akira. Both are good assassins, but neither of them are very tanky with the builds that they have going. And I'm going to use my ultimate right here to just protect myself. And then we're going to jump on Kerrigan here. And Kira takes out that group there with a nice ultimate. So again, you see my health's very low here, but the Avatar, what it does, and I forgot to mention this, so basically you gain health, a significant amount of health, over 1,000 for about 20 seconds. So it just makes you nearly impossible to kill. You're not completely invulnerable. You still can be killed, but it just makes it a little bit more difficult. If you're at full health, it really makes you a beast. And if you're at a lower health, it just is like more health than they're expecting for the most part. So yeah, I think maybe Nova was trying to bait that out by throwing down her ultimate, or maybe she just wasn't thinking that I had Avatar as my heroic. So it's a very good way, though, to really just stay in team fights and not have to worry as much about the healing. And you saw early on, we got taken out by that healing, the lack of healing, that is, in a team fight. So this really just complements that, where you're able to fight more and pop that heroic in the middle of a team fight when maybe you can't get out and heal. And we're going to just kind of go in here and try to break it up a little bit. And then we're going to fall back a little bit. And you see here, Amana is about half. That's pretty much where Muradin sits during most of the game, unless you've just, maybe taken a fountain. Oh, and a nice ultimate there, but he's underneath the tower, which is not ideal. So we're going to try to take out Nova, and a nice follow-through by the team there to get Nova. Now here at this level, you have a couple of options, and I play a couple of different ways at this. Usually I play healing static, which makes your W heal. But you can also, Bronzebeard's Rage can be a lot of fun and effective too. It just gives you a lot of push potential. So it just kind of depends on how the game's going. But I think for this, we're in a lot of team fights. I think we want to have the ability to heal up a little bit more in the middle of a team fight. We're going to just kind of stun him back. We're going to throw down our W to slow Kerrigan so she can't get a good engage on us. And now we're just going to watch Kira. Kira's kind of out of position here a little bit. I don't know that I would have jumped in like that. It's an interesting decision. And our mana's low. We've got about 20 seconds left on the fountain before we can fountain up our mana. But you see nearly the entire enemy team is here. And Kel'Thuzad throws his ult on me. I'm going to try to block this. There we go. We take out ETC, which is a good start. That's a fake Nova. We're going to jump right in the middle of this. See if we can't get our hammer off. So close, but Kasha jumped in and helped out as well. And now we've got a Kerrigan just chilling, but we're up 3-2 on them. So I'm going to throw my hammer and stun her right like that. And again, anytime you can catch someone like a Kerrigan out of position like that, so she's all the way up here, you throw your hammer and she has nowhere to go, and I've got two teammates right here. So that's really what you want to try to do. When this nuke's coming down, you want to try to keep these lanes pushed in that so that they immediately kill the enemy minions. We're going to jump back here. Varian is a little bit too far ahead. And he's going to get killed by this ETC move. We're going to take that ultimate from Kel'Thuzad, which really doesn't do any damage. We're going to stun ETC, and then we're going to use our W to just give our team a chance to back off. And Kira puts down another good heroic there. Here at level 16, I prefer Stoneform, which gives you the ability to sort of heal on command. You can activate to heal over time. But you can go with Imposing Presence. Dwarf Launch, I don't know, is as effective. But certainly if you're a great Dwarf tosser, then maybe you could do that. I just don't particularly use it as much as the healing. And we're just going to push back this guy here. Oh, and a beautiful stun there. We hammer right in there. So you want to, again, when you have somebody retreating like that, you can jump right in with your E and then drop your hammer as you just saw. It really gives you like a little bit of extra range, but you got to be sure that you can get out, right? So if you jump here and you're the only thing there, that the fort's going to jump all over you with its attack. This guy is like, this Kel'Thuzad just wants to keep launching this at me. I'm the worst person on this team to throw it at. He should be throwing it at Varian, Kira, Kasha probably not as much because Kasha actually has pretty good survivability. Hanzo maybe, just depends on sort of the positioning and everything, but I would not be throwing that at Muradin. And our team seems to have this pretty much under control. I'm just going to try to keep this and push this this wave back with the mercenaries. And again, we're pretty well on mana. I think here, considering hard thing, but I think we may be better off pushing this hard to see if we can just get this this boss to take out this at the bottom, because it will give us catapults every time, every third time. So the more that we kind of push this lane, the better. There we go. So I'm going to B now, just get back and get my mana up before maybe heading top and trying to push this back. Always leave your base when your mana's not all the way back up, because you're going to get it all back, right? So each second that you're out, you're gaining a certain amount of mana. So once you have a pretty good sense of that in the game, you realize you don't have to stay in there because you'll recover what's left by the time you get to wherever you're going. Muradin by no means is a super pusher, right? I've got decent damage there in terms of siege damage. In terms of hero damage, almost none. But you saw there, we've got 2 kills, we've got 18 assists. So, you know, you're not going to get many kills. He truly is a tank. He's just somebody who is going to take a lot of damage. And you see that here. Take a lot of damage. We've healed pretty well because we don't have a healer on our team. And especially with our W healing now, that's helping. And then we get great experience because we're always sort of where we need to be. We're always either pushing a lane or in a team fight. And our team here, bottom, takes on a weird engagement. They're 5v3. Probably not a good decision on my team's part to engage there. And, you know, you see this rage, say, with the team. We were pushing the top lane. It was pretty effective. They really shouldn't have... they should have backed if they saw a 5-on-3 engagement. And now Kerrigan's down by herself here, so we're going to rotate... Oh, well, we've got Hammer too, but we're going to rotate bottom here and see what we can do. And I'm going to quickly use my ultimate here just to get them to go back. Now, the thing with his ultimate, or his heroic, is that the cooldown starts the second you cast it. So you only end up with about a 70-second cooldown, which is good. I'm going to grab Unstoppable Force here, but both Rewind and Unstoppable Force are good options. Rewind gives you the ability to reset his basic abilities, which I think can be really good in specific situations, and especially in some team fights, to be able to drop 2 Qs and 2 Ws pretty quickly, or 2 Es can sometimes be a good escape for you. But I really like this. He gets more armor, and it reduces his cooldown when you use your basic attacks. We're going to watch for the ETC ultimate here. And he doesn't actually drop it, which is good. We got Vision. Kel'Thuzad is backing. This comes up in 30 seconds. We're going to just kind of drop down here, throw our hammer, and you see there we got Kerrigan pretty easily. It's a fake Nova. We got the real Nova over here, but our Q isn't up. So we're going to back up here. And you see, I think we would go boss if our team maybe had a little bit more health, but nearly the entire team's down at about 25% health. In the meantime, they're taking bottom here, so I'm going to Hearth back, see if Kel'Thuzad doesn't notice me here, which he doesn't. Heal up, get our mana up real quick, and then just make sure that this doesn't become a bigger problem. And we're just going to push, it looks like, this bottom lane a little bit before we head to the nukes. Now, we should... Well, I don't know if we can get both, but we should be able to, we need to get at least one of these two. It looks like Varian is 1v1 top with Kel'Thuzad, but the enemy team just took this top mercenary camp, so there's probably more heading that way. And you see now there's 3 top. We throw a stun on ETC, get the vision back, and we're going to rotate up top here. Varian takes out Kel'Thuzad. We're going to jump in right on top of this. Unfortunately, Kira, her ultimate wasn't super successful there. That was not good. That was, in fact, pretty bad. He ended up on the wrong side of me while that was going on. You have to be really careful in a situation like that, because obviously Nova's triple tap. If you end up on the wrong side of it, you know, I can take most of that damage myself, but Varian ended up right in the middle of it. But he needs to pay attention too, right? He needs to know that he can't just stand there while that's going on. And we're going to back here just quickly so that we can heal up a little bit because we're very, very low. Yikes. We're going to use our D really quickly. You see that's our the heal that we picked up. We're going to drop our W to slow down Kerrigan here. We're going to drop our hammer on her. Not great. We took out... Kasha was able to take out 2 of them, though, which is actually not too bad. So a good 2-for-1 trade. We're going to heal up here really quickly. And we got Nova and ETC here. Varian shouldn't run through a nuke like that. That wasn't very smart. And that's the real Nova, so the more we can do to damage her, the better. Oh, and a nice ultimate there, a nice heroic there by Kira. So you see here we're up 2 to 4, and we're going to go in on ETC here and Kerrigan. I'm going to drop my heroic, just have some extra health. I'm going to jump here to just sort of body block. And it gets ETC pushed back. Heal up here a little bit. And we're going to just jump into this fray. We should be able to take this out pretty quickly with the folks that we have here. And we just want to get vision right on. We know that we've got 2 Kel'Thuzad and Hammer both here, so we want to back a little bit. We'll let our mana get back up. So I'm not going to use any of my abilities right here when I'm fighting against these mercenaries, because you want to just let your mana go back up so that it's as high as possible going into a team fight. We're about 30 seconds away from Avatar being back up. Got ETC here, so again, you're waiting for his ult. See if we can hammer him out of his ult, but he dances his way away. And they take out 2 of us and maybe a third here. And not a great time to get stunned for sure. Going to use our heal. Hammer, get Kerrigan back. Heal back up. Still about 3 seconds away on the Avatar. Now, going bottom isn't much help at the moment because we're down 2 to 5. So we're going to have to concede those nukes. Now, in terms of XP, we're a little bit ahead. In terms of forts, we're down this one, which is really killer. That's causing that lane to get pushed. But we're doing a good job of keeping the lane kind of pushed back. Now they grab a boss, so we're going to have to defend bottom. It's going to take a little while for this guy to get here, so we're going to try to do as much as we can ahead of him getting to our base. And we should expect that they're probably going to jump on us down here, knowing that we're only 3 of us. Just kind of throwing everything you got at them. You're not going to be able to trigger too much. Like the W can't trigger without a second time without an enemy hero here. So really all you can do is just keep using those abilities and trying to do as much damage as you can. And we should be able to take it out pretty quickly here. You see it didn't really even do any damage to our base, which is good. In the meantime, the TC dies, which means they're probably up top here. We've got a Nova right here, which means this probably isn't a great time to merc. Kira takes out Kel'Thuzad, which is a good trade. Let's see if we get stunned mid-jump. What are the odds? And now they're down to just Kerrigan. I'm going to throw a hammer here just to keep this team back a little bit. We lose our Hanzo to the poison. Luckily, this fort is still up. Going to grab that for the mana. All right. Kerrigan's got the 1 nuke. We got to try to push these mercenaries pretty quickly. And again, you can see Muradin's not going to be able to take this camp quickly by himself. You're going to need some help. But you're just going to do what damage you can with your W, with your Q a little bit, and try to take these guys out as quickly as possible. Still about 20 seconds left on my avatar. Just keeping track of that for the team fight that's going to eventually happen when everybody pops back up. We know that we've got nukes coming. So I'm going to grab the top. Kira's got the bottom, it looks like. And then I think we're going to try to push this top lane pretty hard. And we're going to move down quickly here because especially where you have when I have a nuke like this, they might expect that I'm just chilling up top there. So I want to keep some vision and not kind of get baited by them. We see Kel'Thuzad there on the map, mid. So now we're just doing what we can to push this lane forward, and we should be able to drop our nukes on their base, which, hopefully if the team fight goes well, that will be it. Just do that to knock ETC back and maybe get him to move. ET's going to ult here, but he gets stunned in the middle of it. Perfect play. We're going to Avatar, and that looks like it's going to be it for them. We're going to drop our nuke right on top of everything here. We'll let Nova sort of play around with whatever she's doing. And now their base, we should be able to take this out. I'll stun Nova here just so that she doesn't cause any more problems. Jump on top of her. But you can see there, Muradin is really able to just sustain himself. And you see on the stats here, right? 29 assists, 1 kill, or 2 kills, 1 death. You're going to take a lot of damage. You're going to heal a lot of damage. And we grab the MVP. Best healing, best XP contribution. So, not a perfect game by any means, but a very good game, I think, to showcase Muradin. You really want to use him as that kind of tank, in my opinion, if you're playing with him. And you can really support or play well against like a Kira right now or Varian. You just got to be careful. You have to be very strategic about how you use your basic abilities because of the cooldowns and all of that. But I really like Avatar. I think it really gives you a lot of survivability. And as long as you play smart, you saw the 1 death there, primarily because, I just stayed engaged too long. You need to back out and sort of rotate in and out of the fight a little bit. So hopefully that's helpful to you. If you enjoy this type of content, definitely consider subscribing to my channel. Leave a comment if there's something that you'd like to see, and we'll look to do some more videos real soon. And smash that like button if you enjoyed. Thanks so much.